Hey everybody, I'm Steven, and I'm about to go see Green Book. I will catch you after the credits.
Do you foresee any issues in working for a black man?
You in the Deep South, there's gonna be problems.
Promise me you're gonna write me a letter.
I promise. Tell me that don't smell good.
I've never had fried chicken in my life.
You people love the fried chicken.
You have a very narrow assessment of me, Tony.
Yeah, right? I'm good.
I don't know. Okay, I've got a few things to say about this movie, because this is not a movie that, like, I can go scene by scene and not give spoilers, even though it's a historical... I mean, it's based on a true story, about a true friendship, they call it. And it's done well. It's done really well. This is... I know I just said this about Broly, which was literally the last movie I reviewed. But this is probably my favorite movie I've seen this year, at least from, like, a true, like, film standpoint. Which, again, it's also only, I think, the 4th or 5th movie I've seen this year, so... Again, not saying much, but, the one complaint I have about this movie is... This movie, not like, obviously not Green Book, but this kind of movie comes out this time of year every year. Whether it's like before Martin Luther King Day or in February, Black History Month. It's about like whites and blacks being different in the 60s, and there's a story bringing them together. And this movie, this idea has been done a lot, and it's, to be fair, it's usually done pretty well, and at least the ones I've seen. Like, you've got Driving Miss Daisy, which is an older example with Morgan Freeman, and then, like, The Help came out a few years ago. I don't know if this one counts, but I saw Get On Up a couple years ago, too, which came out, I think, this time of year, the movie about James Brown. And they're all decent movies. The James Brown was probably my least favorite. I liked a lot of things about it, but I didn't think the movie, like, I never needed to see it again. This one I would consider owning, and I think a lot of it is the acting.
What are you doing?
A letter.
May I? Dear Dolores, sometimes you remind me of a house.
You know this is pathetic, right? Put this down.
The distance between us is breaking my spirit. Falling in love with you,
Was the easiest thing I have ever done. P.S. Kiss the kids.
that's like clanging a cowbell at the end of Shostakovich's 7.
That's good.
It's perfect.
I can never, I don't want to butcher his name, but the black actor in this movie, he's also in Luke Cage as the villain for, like, the first half of the season.
Legacy. Our blood.
A lot of these movies actually take from historical things that happened or true stories, so I can't say that they're all the same, but they hit the same beats, like, oh, they're outcasts, they don't fit in because they're different. And it's true, in the 60s that was a huge problem, and it's, to some extent, it's still a problem, so I definitely get why these movies come out still.
You never win with violence. You only win when you maintain your dignity.
You don't know your own people. You, Mr. Big Shot, doing concerts for rich people.
So if I'm not black enough, and if I'm not white enough, then tell me, Tony, what am I?
And there's a saying in Hollywood that I think there's like 7 total stories out there, and it all depends on how well you tell them. And this, again, that's what this is, and it is told very well. The guy who plays the villain in Luke Cage and Viggo Mortensen are great in this. I had such a hard time when I first saw this trailer even realizing it was Viggo Mortensen until he gives a certain smile. There's a Viggo Mortensen smile that, even though I haven't seen him actually in that many movies, it's like, that's Aragorn. That's the same smile he gives Legolas in Lord of the Rings. And he is very good in this movie. He really changes into his character, Tony Lip. I'm just gonna call him Tony Lip because I can't pronounce the Italian last name. So the basic plot is...
Yeah.
Some guy called over here, a doctor. He's looking for a driver. You interested?
I am not a medical doctor. I'm a musician. I'm about to embark on a concert tour in the Deep South. What other experience do you have?
public relations.
Tony, Viggo Mortensen's character, is a bouncer, I guess, basically struggling to make ends meet for his very, very, very Italian family. And he's working at the Copacabana. He's doing all right for himself, but the Copacabana is about to go under renovations, so it's going to be closed for a while. And he's not losing his job, but he's not going to have his job for a while. So he starts taking on little ways to make money. At first, Tony's told he's going to get $100 a week, and he's going to have to press this guy's socks, do his laundry, do all this, take care of all this stuff. And Tony says, first of all, you're going on a tour down south. They will eat you alive down there. I'm not doing this for less than $125 a week. And I'm not washing your socks, but I'll make sure you get to your shows, kind of thing. I'm going to make sure you're okay. And so, actually, a lot of this movie is kind of in a car, and it's on the road, and these two characters getting to know each other, and you've kind of seen some of this before, but they have such a good chemistry together that you can see how they became good friends. And they go from place to place, show to show, and at first, you don't really notice anything strange, but more and more, and I think that's the idea, more and more you're kind of seeing Tony's perspective of, because at the beginning of the movie, he has these prejudices too. Like, he sees a couple black people drink out of cups in his house, and he's ready to throw the cups away, but his wife pulls him out of the trash and doesn't say anything, but you get an idea of these characters without any real dialogue. And so later he's starting to see Dr. Shirley play piano, and very classically, and trying to impress all the riches of the rich in the southern half of the United States. And more you're starting to see that he's not even allowed to use the regular bathroom in the house.
This gentleman says that I'm not permitted to dine here.
I'm afraid not.
How does he smile and shake their hands like that?
Because it takes courage to change people's hearts.
It is a strength of the movie, but this is why I'm saying, like, it hits the same beats as a lot of movies. There's a lot of good chemistry between these characters, and you laugh where you're supposed to laugh, you feel where you're supposed to feel. Tony gets Dr. Shirley out of trouble more than once, trouble that he didn't mean to put himself in necessarily, or he pushed his luck in a few places just because he should be able to go to a bar. He shouldn't have to stay in segregated hotels. He shouldn't have to be arrested for being in a stretch of road that doesn't allow African Americans to walk around at night. Things like that. I didn't even know that was a thing, but this movie showed me that. So there are some things to pick up out of here. I didn't know what a green book was. It was basically a tour guide of the United States where African Americans could stay. And it's a sad truth that had to happen. So I really actually enjoyed this movie a lot. It was really good. I'm going to give this movie probably a 9 out of 10. Cassie kind of convinced me on that one, because some of what was dragging me down this movie for me is the fact that I've seen a lot of these beats in movies before, but she kind of brought it up that she would probably give it a 10 out of 10. She's not as into film as I am, but so I was looking at giving this an 8, and she kind of convinced me, like, I laughed in the same places, I felt in the same places, I never felt bored or anything like that. So I'm going to meet in the middle and call it a good solid 9, and that if you have any interest in a movie like this, a little slower paced but good, like, just good acting and good chemistry, things like that, then I would highly recommend this movie. Even if you don't go see it in theater, pick it up when it comes out. If you're renting it on Netflix or Redbox or wherever it's going to show up, I would definitely give this movie a watch. It's a really good movie.
I didn't like the way he was treating you.
I've had to endure that my entire life. You should be able to take it for at least one night.
You do. Only you can do that.
So leave in the comments below, did you see Green Book? Did you like it? Are you kind of tired of seeing these movies? If you are, I kind of get it, but I want to know your opinions, if you will see it, if you want to see it, if you're just not interested, whatever. So please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will catch you at the movies.
What do we do about the bones?
We do this.
Pick it up, Tony.
Squirrels would have ate it anyway.
Pick it up.